So yeah, we just get the goods container. We pass here the goods, as you can see, and we just give the prefab for this initialize init container for this method. Also, we do the same thing for the currency packs. So we move them as an array from the store info currency packs to array. And notice here, instead of the assets, here we have a method called virtual currency packs back. We return this get currency packs to this store info, so we can use this reference in order to return this array here inside the store info, the get currency packs or currency packs to array. And we move also the item template, and here we're just gonna show this method after we initialize these two containers. We're just gonna say store view the set loading overlay visibility to false. So this means we finish the initialization process and we need to hide the loading overlay. Alright, so if we look at the method here, initialize container, and inside this method we are passing here the container, which is basically the parent of the goods, or the parent of the virtual store items view. And here we also pass an I collection from type of purchase virtual item, and we just give it the type here, which is goods. All right, and also we give it also an object of the prefab that we're talking about, which is here the object that we're talking about, which is item template here. So after this step, we just call this function, and you need to calculate the item width. And in order to calculate the item width, the single item width, we go to the container, and we just get the width of the container and divided that width of the container by the container, the child count. So if we have, for example, if we have 1,000, if we have 3, we're just gonna divide the the container by 3, so we got a single item width here. Also, you can see here we have layout, and you can see we just getting the component of the layout of the horizontal layout group of the current container. So if you go here, you're gonna notice that we have here a container, and this container got horizontal layout group, and we explained that before in the UI section. So we need to get this component known as layout, and for this layout you have to check if this layout is assigned and it's enabled, and it's not null. We need to override the value here for the single item width. So in order to override the single width of the single item here, we do the following. We say single item width is equal to single item width minus the layout the spacing divided by container the child count plus 1. So let me just illustrate that to you with an example here. So if we say the following, let me just alright, so let's say the following. Right now we have this layout, and let's say we have 3 elements in this container child count. So let's say we have 3 elements inside this container, and we have container width. Let's say we have like 600 pixel. All right, 600 pixel. So when we get started, we say here we have single width is initially as 600 divided by 3. We're gonna have 200. All right. So once we come here, we're just gonna say single width item is equal to 200. Here, say 200 minus 200 minus, and we say 200 minus layout spacing. So what do we mean by layout spacing? If you go Unity here, we have here something called spacing, and this is related to the layout spacing. We have, for example, here 7. So we're just gonna have 7, and we just divide that by container the child count plus 1. So if we have child count of 3, and we're just gonna divide that by 7, so this means that we're gonna have 3 divided by 7. All right, and well, let me just say the following. We got here 7 over container width plus 1, so 7 over 4. Of course 3 plus 1 is 4, so we're just gonna have 7 divided is 1, so the width of this item is gonna be 199 pixel. Alright, so this is how you just a trick how to calculate the single item width. Alright, if we continue here, we have container anchor minimum and container anchor maximum. So as you can see here, we just put in the container, which is the container of the item, in the middle of the screen. So you can see here we just put 0.5 in order to centralize it in the middle of the screen. And you can also see here the container pivot is equal to the pivot, which is the pivot point, is centralized in the parent of the game object. So we put here 0 and 0.5, so this means that we are centralizing the pivot here, something like this. So this is we talk about x-axis 0, so and we talk about 0.5, so it's gonna be here. So if the game object is this one, we're just gonna get the pivot here. All right, so after that we expand the container to its desired size by using size delta, and we use vector to the right times items.count times single item width. So let's say a single item width is 199 here, and we divided that by the items count, which is let's say 3, and here we have a vector right, so we're just gonna do this vector multiplication, and we got 3 times 109, it's about 600. So in case you have 4 items, 5 items, you're just gonna have 4 items like this here, 1 2 3, and we got 4 item here. So because we set up before we set up a mask, so there's some sort of mask here, so we're just gonna be able to display only 3 elements. So once you scroll to left, you can move the item, it's just going to be visible here. Alright, so here we have a method called destroy virtual store item views. So this method is used to get the design parameter we needed from the items and get rid of them. So once you scroll, you're just gonna get rid of any of the items that are not used inside the current view. So if you could come here, we're just gonna call this method here destroy virtual store item views. So if you go to this method, you're just gonna see it here, and you can see here we are destroying the items for the selected container. So here you could say that we just give the goods container or the item container, and we just loop for all its child count, and we just destroy the views one by one. So this is a way that you could use to destroy the items, then reload them. So if we back to the track here, you could see that this method here inside the InitContainer, we are destroying all the game object, and then we reload them from the beginning. So here you can see we got all the items inside that container here, and we just load them again by using item object instantiate for the item template as game object, and we after that set if this is not equal to null, we're just gonna say virtual store item is equal to item object the get transform, and we just get set the current virtual store item to we just set the parent inside the container, and after that we set the local scale to be 1 to keep its size as it is. And after that we just say in here a new virtual store item view is equal to item object the key component for this item view. If we got if this is enabled, we're just gonna get the item object and add a new component to it using this virtual store item. And after that we're just gonna say this virtual store item view that item is equal to the item that we passed inside the for array. So every time we instantiate a new prefab for each of the virtual item by using this mechanism. So we destroy them all and we then recreate them in order to get the last version of the UI associated with each of the model of the data model to associate it with each of the views. So every time we destroy everything and reload the virtual items to their latest state. Alright, so the same thing here we just do for the currency container. We just do the same thing, and we apply the same mechanism. So yeah, this is pretty much all the story. So here, if you go, for example, to the store and you click play, yeah, once you click play here, you're just gonna see once we click in the store, yeah, let me just you can see here we already called we already called here. If you go to the top a little bit, click clear and play, and let's clear all that. You click here and you're just gonna notice that we are instantiating the store again. So if you click here, for example, you can see if you go to the store, here we have the goods container, and here also we have the other container for the currency here. So you can see inside the goods container we have, which is the horizontal layout group, we are centralizing all the elements inside this container according to its size. So here, if you see the goods container here, width is 1817, and we got around 4 elements here, and these 4 elements here, every item width and height is driven by the horizontal layout group. And you can see here that we are set up the child alignment to middle left, and the spacing is 7, as you can see here. So every item here is anchored to this anchor here, 00705. So all the items here are anchored to 0, are pivoted into 005, and that's because here we are setting that to 0.005. And for the anchor min and max here, we're setting the container. They are for the container, so we're talking about this container here. So you can see that the minimum here is 050 and the maximum is 05085, and you can see here the minimum, the maximum, and here you can see the container Y. We didn't change, we don't apply the change in Y. We just make the X of the vector here to be fixed as 0505, and that's why when you come here to the container, you can see 0505 is fixed anchored. And you can see this anchor here actually, if you want to see it. Yeah, you can click Alt on the keyboard, and you can see this is the current anchor. And once you do this anchoring, once you put these two anchor at a single point, we saw what is the effect of that in the UI section, and you're just gonna be able to, once you do this, we're just gonna expand the game object horizontally but not vertically, so you can see that. And this is the effect by using a fixed anchored at the top and at the bottom, as you can see. All right, and also you can see here we set the pivot to 005, and this is the pivot point of the game object. You can see it here, it's 0, as we explained in the previous diagram that we showed you. Yeah, this is pretty much, guys, how to initialize the store items at the beginning, and how to you know, call this start method once we initialize the scene. We're just gonna initialize these store items at the beginning, and also we're just gonna show you how to trigger these. For example, what is going on once we click on this button here. So we have the store icon here. Once we click there, we're just gonna execute all that again. So we're just gonna explore that in the next video, how to run and display the store based on a button click. So we're gonna show you that in the next video. Thank you guys again for watching.